And tonight on the Daily Wrap, chaos erupts in the White House, or at least the House of Representatives, as Kevin McCarthy drops out of the race for Speaker just moments before the vote was about to begin. Ruh-roh. Rupert Murdoch forced to apologize for a tweet about President Obama. What exactly did he say? And Hillary Clinton flip-flops on yet another issue. This is not a recording. Instead, this is the Daily Wrap, and we're live from New York City. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Joe Costa, joined by Nomi Kant.
Hello, Joe. 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. Rarely do I get a second
back.
date. Well, and apparently you're here tomorrow night as well. It's in the contract.
I'm actually sleeping under the desk. It's free rent.
It wouldn't be the first time.
It's better than getting paid.
Rick Unger is at Politicon, which
Yes.
is a very cool event out in Southern California. Also, he's spearheading an effort to bring the Rams back to Southern California.
I have no idea what that means. It's a sports thing.
They're in St. Louis, and they used to play in LA. Anyway, we're talking tonight about Rupert Murdoch's tweet. Have you ever written something that you had to apologize for?
I'm sure a former boyfriend of mine would be compelled to tell you about, I once broke up with a guy on a Post-it note.
Really? Less than 140 characters?
It was. It was. Now, if Newsmax can figure out what that is in reference to, you win a prize.
Yeah.
But it is in reference to a movie or a TV show.
Well, my money is that absolutely no one will know where that came from. It's an HBO show. There's your hint. Anyway, 2, Sarah Jessica's right. He is a former Navy SEAL, and the president of the Citizen League, Carl Higbie, is back once again. And finally, she's an attorney and a senior fellow at the Independent Women's Forum. Gail Trotter joins us for the first time, which means we'll never see her again in 61 minutes from now. But enjoy your time while you're here, and we appreciate it. Okay, let's get right to the Daily Download.
We've been going through this campaign, talking to a lot of members, but the one thing I've always said, to earn this majority, we're servants. We should put this conference first. And I think there's something to be said for us to unite. We probably need a fresh face. I'll stay on as majority leader, but the one thing I found in talking to everybody, if we are going to unite and be strong, we need a new face to help do that.
And that was House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy announcing minutes before the election to replace Speaker of the House John Boehner was to take place that he's dropping out of the race. Last week, McCarthy made a pretty big gaffe when he said the Select Committee on Benghazi was created to destroy former Secretary of State, he said, Hillary Clinton's political career.
Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was unbeatable, right? But we put together a Benghazi special committee, a select committee. What are her numbers today? Her numbers are dropping. Why? Because she's untrustable. But no one would have known any of that had happened had we not thought and made that happen. Good.
So, did that gaffe factor into Representative McCarthy's decision? Well,
how much did your comments about Benghazi last week play into your decision to step aside today?
Well, that wasn't helpful. Yeah, I mean, I could have said it much better. But this Benghazi committee was only created for one purpose: to find the truth on behalf of the families for the 4 dead Americans. I should not be a distraction from that. And
well, that went well. McCarthy was the favorite to take the position. His announcement today has left the House in utter chaos, and there is no clear candidate to replace Speaker Boehner. Boehner, who was scheduled to appear on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Carl supposed to follow right afterwards. They both had to cancel their appearances after the announcement was made, and has since decided to stay on until a replacement is found. So now that McCarthy is out, who should be the next Speaker of the House? Jason Chaffetz, Daniel Webster, they're in the running. How about Paul Ryan? Help me out here, Nomi. If you were a Republican, which you clearly are not, what do you do here? Let me rewind that, actually.
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy completely bought this on all the representatives, Republicans anyway, because he gave no one a heads up. Clearly no one knew this was coming.
Maybe. I mean, I think Republicans are smart. The leadership is very tight, and they're very strategic. I actually don't think what he said was that bad. I think it was blown out of proportion on the right and the left. I think if you actually listen to the comments that were just aired, it really wasn't that bad. But it showed, I mean, the base of the party was angry that he showed his cards. Now, the Republican Party is divided, and you don't want a House divided. I think by choosing a fresh face, as he mentioned, but somebody who's more part of the establishment, would be a really smart decision for them. But Paul Ryan has said, no, that's not a fresh face. But Jason Chaffetz is very aggressive right now, but he doesn't have the votes in. I personally believe that they knew this was coming, and John Boehner knew as soon as he said he was going to retire that they were not, nobody was ready to replace him.
He didn't have the votes, so I guess you could call it smart, but for everybody to show up there and then just for the announcement to come out, there was no plan B. And Boehner said, okay, we're not holding a vote in any capacity. So now, who's next? Who's your horse? You got one.
My horse, personally, I'd love to see someone like Trey Gowdy step in. Paul Ryan, I think, is a more viable option. But I want to address the real thing is he really stepping down for what he's saying he's stepping down for? There's been alleged affair. People have been saying he's allegedly having an affair.
Really? Who cares?
Yeah, but it's not the responsibility of somebody in third line for the office to be having an affair. I mean, you need to he's talking about someone who's trustworthy. He's going into trustworthiness. Like, this is, I'm a fellow Republican, but he's hitting Hillary Clinton on his trustworthiness.
Have you heard of Newt Gingrich?
Too. Yes, I have heard
Speaker
of
the House, Newt Gingrich, who's been married how many times now? 4 times? 5 times?
I think it's 3 or 4.
Many affairs,
it's a
yes.
lot. Yeah, and I don't think that's right either. Call me a traditional guy. I don't think affairs are the right way to go.
It would be a distraction, certainly. So,
especially in a running for something like this.
You watched all this unfold today. Were you surprised, A, and B, what's going to happen next?
Very closely. I couldn't disagree more with Nomi, because I think that not only should Kevin McCarthy step out of the speaker race, he should turn in his Republican Party membership card, because it's not about this gossip. Boom. It's not about these low-level things. This is the highest level position for the Republicans at a national level, and it's so important that has Kevin McCarthy not been paying attention for the past 6.5 years? Because Republicans have been advancing that this is the most lawless administration in the history of the Republic. You've got the IRS being weaponized, and he went on Fox News and said as the #1 accomplishment of the Republicans in the House is that they were able to take a select committee and weaponize it against a member who's running, another candidate who's running for the presidency.
That's why I like Trey Gowdy.
So what's the #1 success story?
Daniel Webster.
Daniel
Webster is the person who should be selected because he's not a conservative. He's not part of the Freedom House.
Daniel Webster's not a conservative?
He's not a conservative.
Have you looked at his
moderate.
Believe it or not, his rating amongst conservatives, he gets a D.
Amongst conservatives, but amongst the nonpartisan press or factcheck.org, he gets a D.
That doesn't matter.
He's a great selection because he's a process guy. And Republicans are all about fairness, equal justice, and about the rule of law. And so if you could get someone that everyone would agree would have fair rules that everybody could participate, have a voice, we'd have a debate, and we could have this airing of stuff instead of this crisis government, the debt ceiling, the continuing resolution. That's the solution.
Well, here's the big issue is if they don't come up with, if the Republican Party, I say they because I'm ashamed to call myself a Republican in the light of the chaos that's going on, but if they don't come up with somebody that's clear and concisely and unanimously supported, they run the risk of losing a lot of power over this.
What about the political aspect here for Hillary Clinton? Because this is basically acquiescing that, that gaffe may have led to, he had no momentum, McCarthy, after that. He was playing defense the entire time. Right. So, and she says in every interview, you see these hearings are just all about taking me down. It was a gift. What it was, because it allows her to play victim.
Allows her to play the victim, and she's attacking the media for attacking her. She's attacking the Republicans for creating a false conspiracy. And there's legitimacy to that argument over Benghazi. I think that we'll learn a little bit more over this committee hearing, but I think it'll be proven to American people that the Republicans and Trey Gowdy were on a witch hunt against her. Listen, immediately after he made that gaffe, I opened my phone up. I had 6 emails from the DCCC, from the Democratic Party, from every progressive organization raising money off of that.
Fundraising. That's what it all comes down to. Fundraising for the Democratic Committee.
So Paul Ryan
and the Republican. They do the same thing.
They don't fundraise off of Tyrone Woods' body. And I'd like to understand why Hillary Clinton could stand over their coffins and lie about what happened in Benghazi and have no accountability. It comes
what do you think happened in Benghazi? I would love to hear. What do you think?
I know what happened.
I do too.
Okay, so the fact is, our guys were on the ground asking for help and they didn't get it.
That's right.
And those are people that
went on the phone when they were shot. Please explain this to me. I'm just
Months.
curious.
Months
So-
ahead of
Months
time.
ahead of time.
So there was a memo that was written by the ambassadors saying that they did need more security. That's the only thing.
Okay, we have to leave it there. We may continue this conversation. Who knows? Are you shocked by Kevin McCarthy's announcement? And who do you think should replace Speaker Boehner? Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments and let us know. Coming up next, Rupert Murdoch, hot water over a tweet. Stay tuned.